friendships that are quickly becoming family, people that I love very much and care so much for, and being involved with them and their families, as well as Daybreak Daughters. It's been amazing to be involved in that ministry with Sarah, and the relationships that the ladies are forming, the way that we're praying for one another and encouraging one another, learning things about ourselves and about each other. It's just been fantastic. Ladies, if you're not a part of it, come join us.
What I love about Daybreak Church is the family. I love how it feels like home, and yeah, it's just, I don't know. See, I'm bad at talking. I don't know.
This is an easy one, at least for me. What I really love about Daybreak Church is what seems to be the DNA, in that there's only one church, and Daybreak is just one manifestation of that. It's cooperative rather than competitive.
It's preaching.
That's pretty much it.
That's good.
Well, and for me, it's just a reminder, when we left South Carolina, that was one of my biggest concerns, is finding a church that had similar DNA as what we left. And this was the first church we visited, and it's like, I'm home.
There are a lot of things I love about Daybreak Church, but I would say one of the best ones is the family here. The interactions with everybody, the community. Everybody's just so caring here and loving and really showing what God is doing in their lives and living it out.
Something that God has been working on me for a very long time, and he's not done yet by any means. He's using Daybreak to stretch me in unimaginable ways when it comes to me feeling the need for control. I always need to be in the know and need to be involved in the middle of stuff. And Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "Yet God has made everything beautiful for its own time. He's planted eternity in the human heart, but even so, people cannot see the whole scope of God's work from beginning to end." I'm learning so much about waiting on Him and His time, and allowing His time to be the controlling factor.
For me, since I've been here basically since the beginning, a major theme I think that I've taken from being a part of Daybreak is patience, and realizing that everything doesn't happen based on our timing, but God's timing. And like the building, we were like, oh, we're gonna get a building, no one knows. And just being patient and just praying for it and being patient again.
For me, it's actually your teaching. It's a really fresh perspective, looking at even stories that I've known since I was a lot smaller. And so for me, it's just looking at things from a different angle and seeing it from a different point of view. And that's not bad. I mean, you hear all the time about scripture teaches this. Well, in the broader sense, yes, it does. But then there are those nuances that a lot of times we get in these ruts, these grooves that we don't. So this is how we think of it when we hear that scripture, and then just looking at it from a different perspective.
One of the greatest things God's taught me through Daybreak Church is being there for one another, and most recently would be in the recent message of how we can be shaped and molded by God, and kind of looking within ourselves to see areas of what we can change in our lives that we may not have realized before, so that we can live better and greater for Him.
My absolute favorite moment is launch day. We were fortunate enough to be here for the opening of the doors of Daybreak Church at Bullen Middle School. We have watched family members come to church that we were told would never ever step foot in a church. We have seen family members come to Christ and be baptized, and friends come to Christ and be baptized. We've watched so much since launch, but launch is something that really sticks in my mind.
Well, for me, I really like the Praise in the Parks, and we've done that twice. And the reason may be kind of odd. It's that for the unchurched or non-believer, I mean, they pass by the buildings where we worship and they think of that as church. And so I think it's good for us to be out and they see us, the church, worshiping and praising God, and have an opportunity to join in or to question us or to, whatever, they need to do that helps bring them into the family.
And mine would be a follow-up, kind of similar vein, in that it would be scattered days, because that's really ministering to the public. And we're service-minded to start with, so it resonates in our heart, but it's just that extra step that we can show Jesus.
I don't know, it's hard. I really like just being able to have been part of the launch team, and then just seeing everything that's changed since we started, since we were in Bullen, and setting up and tearing down every single week, and then being here and everything's already set up. Woo. But I don't know if I can pick a specific moment, but I don't know, the Sunday mornings when you just feel the presence of God in here during worship, I think is my absolute favorite thing.
I am really excited for Daybreak Daughters. The fact that we are focusing on women, our relationships with each other, our relationships with God, our relationships with our family. Right now we're doing a study on joy, and just understanding what joy is has been really exciting, and looking for little ways to experience God's joy and give over the things in my life that are keeping me from feeling that joy and being fulfilled in that way is really exciting for me.
Look at all that, in the little bit of time that Daybreak has been here, all that God has done, and how He's blessed the church and blessed others through the church. And it's like looking at the next steps for Daybreaks as well. I mean, what has God got? What's happening next? That kind of thing.
Ready for revival here in Kenosha and beyond, but our heart is so heavy for Kenosha. 3 years ago we moved here. This is our home now. We've put down roots. We've bought a house. We have some family here. We have friends here that are just so near and dear to us, that we're so excited to see how God can use us and use Daybreak here in our city.
If you're trying to find a place to belong, or we can kind of wrestle with God with someone, this place has definitely been that for me.
And mine's just kind of a follow-up that Daybreak would be a powerhouse for God, for Kenosha.
Following God is not always easy. Following God, sometimes, will involve pain and trial and all kinds of things that we would look at as negatives. But there's a purpose behind it that we may not see, and we need to just be faithful that He's going to bring us through it, and He has a purpose for it that's going to make us stronger. Or there's times that I truly believe that we will go through something for somebody else. And so our trials and tribulations are actually helping a brother or sister in some way that we may not even see or fathom. And so as God is faithful, we need to be faithful as well.
Be excited for God, because He's really moving in this place. And I have been here for almost a year, and I've already seen amazing changes, and God at work, and I'm excited. You should be too.
Awesome.